Well, hi there, welcome back to Bus and Beyond, and it's an absolutely glorious day. It's the hottest day of the year so far, still in March. It's a perfect day to work on the van. It might actually be a little bit too hot to work on the van, but Auxbeam have sent us some more lights, so I want to get them fitted, and I also want to show you, well, give you an update on the van really. There's a few bits that I've done, so I want to show you what I've done. We'll do that before we look at these lights. Now, because the lights are going on the front of the van, and that's where a lot of the other stuff has been done, we'll start at the back and work our way forward. Now, if you've been following the channel, you will know that both me and my dad, in some pretty rubbish weather, which was only about a month ago, fitted the wind-out awning on the side of the van. It's the Thule Omnister 5200, a 4.5 metre wind-out awning. As part of that, you need to fit the winder somewhere. So that's about the only thing that's happened in the back here. Let me just open that door. I'm going to actually fit some gas struts so the doors stay open. I really want to get that done because when we're away on site, these doors are really annoying. I can't have them using the catch, and that's because... So basically, these are the big 270-degree opening hinges. They go like pretty much all the way around, and you have this catch which would normally have something attached here which would stop it from fully opening. Now obviously you can see that I've put the ladder there. I have got it on that side, so if you forget that you've had this tie put back like that, as you shut the door it moves back and into the pipework that I've got there. Now I could build something to protect that pipework, but it's quite rare that I need to have them fully open all the way around. You can get gas struts, so I will get some gas struts and fit them in there, which will make these redundant. But the only reason I haven't done it yet is because on my driveway it's quite tight, and often I'm right up against the bins here, so there's quite a few times where I do need the doors to be all the way open like that. I can't guarantee that I can always just leave them how they are. Like if this door was like this all the time now, whilst I'm working, it'd be a right pain to get around. So it's going to be one of the last jobs, I think. But I completely digress there. This is where I've managed to fit the winder, which I think looks spot on there. Fits perfectly. All this does come with the awning, so you get these like hooks, almost like catches that you just screw into place. And then that fits nicely on there. I think that's probably all I've done in the back here. Right, and as we look down the side of the van, a change that actually happened a little while ago, but I've only just got round to showing you, is we've actually got some new tyres. The wheels are the same, but these are new tyres. These are Loader AT1, so all-terrain ones. A little bit smaller than the trail terrains we had on before. Now I absolutely loved the trail terrains. They were fantastic tyres, really quiet on the road, loads quieter than all terrains. I thought they just looked fantastic. They looked really good. They're a bit bigger than these, but yeah, they filled the arches really well. They made it look really beastie, and they worked really well as well in sort of grassy fields, which is more than enough for what we need. But the issue we've got is, again, those of you who've been following the channel will know that we are up plating. We're increasing the weight rating of the van. It's quite a long process because there's a few things I need to do beforehand, and one of the things is to get the van ready for that up rating. So a few bits like the wind out awning is all part of the process. Yes, we wanted a wind out awning, but it is also part of the criteria to turn this into a camper van, into a motor caravan. The other thing, things like tyres, the trail terrains are not rated high enough. Now when you look at the plate, the weight plate of the van, it tells you what each axle is rated at. And basically with a bit of expertise from a company like VB Air Suspension that are sorting ours out, they can calculate the weight that you can increase to. We've also had VB semi-air suspension put on the back. But yeah, there's loads of things. There's a big process basically involved, which I'll go into more in a separate video because it is interesting. One of the things is increasing the weight rating of the tyres. Now I seem to remember the trail terrains were rated at 111, I think, which I can't remember what that equates to, but these are rated at 118. So they're almost like a truck ply tyre, so they're really heavy duty. Took a bit of a game getting onto the wheels because the wheels are a little bit too wide, but yeah, they are on and they look really good actually. A little bit smaller, and funny enough, the tyre place that I went to were adamant that it was going to look stupid, but it doesn't. It does look spot on. It's just when it was coming from the trail terrains that looked really good, just that little bit bigger. I think they thought that that was on the van as standard. These are still bigger than the standard wheels and tyre setup. So yeah, I just think they were getting a bit confused. Anyway, it does look good, fun enough as well. The only thing is, as you can see by all the mud on this one, they're not quite as good as the trail terrains when off-road. We went into a wet field at Popham, which again, we've done a video on that, so check that out in the description below. We went into that field and we got stuck immediately. So it partly down to the van being pretty heavy. We had a lot of water on board because I wasn't sure if they had water at the CL. So we had a lot of water on board, but also the ground was very, very soft. These tyres are not quite as beastie. So I might actually have an excuse to get some Max tracks, which I'm quite excited by. I've always quite fancied putting some Max tracks on the side here just because it looks cool. But now I've actually got an excuse. Right, next few changes are inside. So not a huge amount has changed, but first thing, the front of a Crafter, I don't know if you know, doesn't come with carpets. So it's just a bare grey, plasticky, rubbery floor. Not very homely, especially when you're in here camping. So the guys at Transporter HQ hooked us up with one of their fantastic fitted carpets. They do them for both single seats, so if you have two single seats like what we've got, or if you've got a double and a single, they do them for both. And it just, makes it so much more comfortable underfoot. And also just, it's just nicer, isn't it? It's nicer to have a carpet. Excuse that it's already dirty. That's Bentley for you. As soon as he gets in the van, all the hairs just go straight onto it. So yeah, I've tried to sort of clean it a bit, but it needs a good hoover. But they fit all around there. You've got like a little padded bit underneath the driver's foot, which is nice. And it's all one piece as well, so it's really easy just to chuck in. And that's nice. It just, makes it much better than sort of standing on a plasticky floor. Underneath, it's just, it's not very nice, really. So if you're interested in getting yourself a carpet from Transporter HQ, that'll be linked in the description below. Click on that and that'll take you straight to there. So yeah, thank you very much to them for sending us that out. Now, I don't know if you remember how it looked before, but basically this bit was not finished at all. So this was quite a big job, actually. Let me just move the kettle out of the way. So this was quite a big job. So we had these units were already in. This unit, is, I built all this out of plywood and also a bit of bamboo offcuts and stuff like that to make a bit of a container shelf, and also to bridge the gap between this and then where the bed is. But yeah, I couldn't basically put this blind in until I knew what height the kitchen was, because this needs to be a custom blind. The window does carry on down, but if you put the blind down all the way down to the bottom of the window, you wouldn't be able to get it back up again. So I basically had to, it took quite a lot of forward thinking. I needed to get this the right height, I needed to build all this up. But basically what I did is I had this socket in here, that's been there for a little while. I measured all this to be the right height to the top of the socket, built this to be up to the same height as the top of the socket, and then I also had to build inside all around there, build all that wood up. I then put a strip of wood along, and I then ordered the final blind. So all these blinds here, you can see these are all swell shades blinds, and they're absolutely fantastic. Blackout, like properly blackout. We were camping at Popham and the sun was coming up and you had no idea. It was pitch black. It was really, really good. So they are properly blackout. What is that? What's this guy doing here? Seriously? But yeah, because so this one and the one in the sliding door are the perfect fit for the windows, but I had to wait for this one because I didn't know exactly what size it was going to be. It's the same width as the window, but basically it doesn't go all the way down. So I ordered that came, fitted that. I had to put this, you see the strip of wood along here just to make it all completely flush. This is the bottom part of the blind, and then basically it comes down and fills that aperture. Lovely, really, really good. They are such good blinds, swell shades. So yeah, and then Up it goes again, and then I had to use it's like a tongue and groove look MDF. So it's not actually tongue and groove, it does look like it. I used it over this side and I was really pleased with how it turned out. Had to cut the opening obviously for the window. Again, had to do the same here. Battened behind here and built it up. It's in two parts, which you can see, because I haven't done this join very good. So I might need to redo this. Basically, these two bits is one piece and then the rest of it is another piece. But I should have done that a little bit lower. You can see where I've screwed to the wall and I've filled it with wood filler, just like there. Filled each screw, and then I just need to sand them back and paint over the top so that you don't see them. That's exactly what I did on that side, and it's really hard to see where the screws are. That could actually probably do with another coat, but do that at some stage. So yeah, I don't know whether to unscrew that and then push it down a bit so it's a bit flusher. But yeah, or maybe I could hide it with a shelf. That's usually what I tend to do in these things. But yeah, it's really nice to get that done, and it's really nice not to have to use our makeshift blinds. We just had a bit of off-cut insulation that we just stuck on the side. It's nice not to have to use them. The blinds all around all look really, really good. Right, one of the next jobs I need to do, I actually need a bit of advice on. I want you to help me work out how to do it. So on the sliding door, ignore the foliage. On the sliding door, it comes, a crafter comes with these panels. They're not carpeted from the factory, they're just plastic panels, which are carpeted and use these. This is what holds those panels on. Just put them back in again. And I've done the bottom one, the top one. Now the actual top one comes just open. There is nothing there. It's the same right at the back. You can see just above the, like right on the back doors, the top bit is completely open. Now I've obviously filled it with insulation, but I need to cut a bit of slim MDF and put it in place. Now that's all well and good, cutting a bit of MDF to this size. That's not an issue. But how do I line up the holes perfectly with that? So basically, if I've got my panel over the top, I can't just blindly sort of stick things through there. I suppose I could build a template with a bit of cardboard, and I might be able to push it in and see where they are. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to have to do. Unless anyone can tell me a better way of doing that. Basically, yeah, I need to put a bit of ply, carpet it, and make it look the same as these bottom ones. But I just need to make sure the holes all line up. I suppose I could, or the other option is I could put a bit of ink on these and then press the panel against it. But I'm not sure that would work. So yeah, let me know in the comments how to do that, because I don't really know how. Right, now the front of the van. That's where most of the work has been done. And first of all, I shall show you these incredible lights. Now, I've always loved the big spotlights on the front of vehicles. You can see, like on this Jeep, they've got massive spotlights, and I really wanted to recreate that. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a process, but funny enough, right, so this is the box for these 9-inch off-road lights from Auxbeam. Really, really cool. They've got like a daytime running light function, so you can have like yellow daytime running lights, or you can have white daytime running lights, and then there's obviously got the real bright lights. They're not in this box. I actually got too excited and I've already put them on the front. I've mounted them on the front. They're not wired up yet, but they are already on the front. So I'm gonna show you that, and you'll see why they're already on the front when we get around there. Now, I had to work out how I was going to fit them to the front of the van. At first I was going to build some sort of custom bracket out from the front of the, like behind the grille, using the crash member and stuff like that, but I'm not capable of doing that. It would, well, not very easily. It would take a lot of work. So if I was going to go to a fabricator again, I kind of need to drop the van off with them. It's just going to take a fair bit of time. And in the end, I actually found a pretty good deal on an A-frame for the front of the van, and I absolutely love the look of this. So how good does that look? So I have already fitted the A-frame, and there's a bit of a story as to the best way of getting hold of one of these, in my opinion. I'll talk you through that in a minute. But you can also see the Auxbeam lights are already mounted up. And again, don't they look so, so cool? But before we look at those, let's just rewind and I'll show you another couple of things that I did beforehand. When you buy a VW Crafter, there's a few different specs you can have. You can have like trend line, high line. And one of the things that comes on the front of all the vans is a big chrome strip that runs right along the front of the the van. It's this bit here. Now, what I've done is, as you can see, it's black now, the same as the rest of the grille, and I think it looks pretty much exactly the same. The way I did that is I used something called Plastidip. So easy to use. It's, like I say, it's chrome underneath. Basically, I masked all around here, so again, over the lights, on the black bit here, so that this bit didn't get extra stuff on it, all the way along, and then you just spray it on. You do about 4 coats. This is the stuff, Plastidip. It's fantastic stuff. It's been around for years, actually, and people use it on their wheels, they use it on their badges, they use it on all sorts of different things, but it's absolutely so easy to use. It's really good for exactly this kind of application. It's really designed to work on this like plastic chrome stuff, which is what was underneath here. So you can see a bit of it underneath the light, so you could, like, I could do that if I wanted to, but that's actually underneath the lens of the light, so that'd be a bit harder to do. Time will tell as to how well it lasts, and I'll keep you updated on that. I've not tried to pressure washer it. In fact, as you can see, I've not even washed the van since. But yeah, it does still look really good, and it feels good. It'd be interesting to see how it copes with stone chips as well. I'm really pleased with how that looks. It just makes such a difference to the front of the van. Now, the other thing I didn't actually plaster dip this. This is usually chrome, so all the VW bit, this is black behind all the time, but this bit is chrome. Now, I could have plaster dipped that as well, but I actually bought a new VW badge, and that's from Van Style, I think it was. I'll link in the description below where that was from. But it's, yeah, really straightforward, and for the sake of about 12 quid, I think it was, I ordered it about 4 or 5 p.m, I think it was, and it came the next day. It was so fast, really quick. They're a little bit of a pain to get off, actually. When I first started taking the old one off, I was getting trim tools behind here, but it was right up tight against the actual grille, and I couldn't get in, and I was getting more and more annoyed. Anyway, what I found is that you need to go in like through that way and prise it off that way instead, or through there. So go behind the actual VW bit, and eventually it pops off. And then just make sure there's no plastic left inside the actual clips, and then shove this one back on. I think the front end just looks so much beefier. Now onto the A-frame. So I shopped around through loads of different companies in the UK, and I just felt like there were a lot of money for basically a tube of metal. Now, I completely get that there's the development costs that need to be recuperated. I completely understand that. But there's a few things on crafters that I just think is completely overpriced. That's one of the things. So they if you look everywhere, they're about £650 for the ones that genuinely don't affect parking sensors or your radar at the front, that kind of stuff. You can get cheaper ones which just look a bit dodgy, and I don't know how good they are with the actual radar. Now, like I say, about 650 quid, which I think is a lot of money, and then often you have shipping on top of that. Kept looking around, they're all about the same sort of price, and it looks like the company that everyone uses is a company called Metec, M-E-T-E-C. Found them online through a company in the Netherlands called Lights and Styling. Now, the issue with Brexit is everything that we order in is subject to import duty nowadays. But even with import duty and delivery from the Netherlands, it was far cheaper to get the A-frame from there than it was to buy it in the UK. So what I expect is that companies here in the UK obviously are also doing the same sort of thing, and then have to put their markup on top. So I get that. But yeah, if you are interested in getting one, there's a company called Lights and Styling. Again, they'll be linked in the description below. Obviously, I went for the Crafter one, and it was £299.55. I also did buy a couple of clips to mount the Auxbeam lights on, so they're quite good. Again, I'll link those clips in the description below, but be warned, I did actually have to email them, because when you look at the photos, it shows 2 clips in every photo, but you are paying for just one. So I emailed them and said, do I need to buy 2 if I want to, or does it come as a pair? And they said, no, you need to pay for 2. So I did that. So they came as well. Both of those came to, so they were £17 each. They came to £34. So yeah, essentially £333, well, £334 before any import duty or shipping. Shipping was £79, so 80 quid. So your nearest damn it at £413 before import duty. It's not the easiest to work out how much the import duty is going to be, but I knew the chances are it wasn't going to be £250. So anyway, placed the order. There's a little bit of a delay in it coming. They did keep me updated, really good customer service. And before it actually arrives, you then get an email saying you need to pay this import duty. It's from like FedEx or DHL, and it was £75 import duty for the A-frame and the 2 clamps. So I think if you were just buying the A-frame, it's probably only about 70 quid. So yeah, just shy of £500, 490 quid I think it was, all in, which is a substantial saving. So if you're interested, I think it's the same one that everyone uses. It looks exactly the same. I've watched videos of people installing them, and the way it's installed is exactly the same. So I'm pretty certain it's the same one. You don't have to do any drilling to the van. You get all the pieces. The instructions are a little bit rubbish. The best bet, if you are installing one, go to the final page of the instructions and you'll see a big sort of blow up photo of all the parts and what bolts and what washers, what nuts and everything need to go where. So have a look at that, because I was just guessing basically. And get that mounted, and it looks so good. It looks so good. And I got too excited. I had to mount the Auxbeam lights. Right, so bonnet open, and I suspect what I'm probably going to have to do is remove this panel here so I can see and get access behind, because it's basically straight into the radiator down there. So it's a Torx 20 screw to undo that, Torx 20 bit to get it out. You not believe what I did? As soon as I put it in, I went to put the screwdriver down it, and the bit fell out and went boom, straight down there. So it's like falling into the void somewhere. What an idiot. I don't think this is going to be straightforward to get off either, is it? Right, I've scrapped that idea, because it's just, this is all connected to the radiator, and I've got to remove that. It's all the grill. And yeah, it's just going to be a massive job. I think I'd have to take the front bumper off, which I don't want to do. So I'm actually going to, I've just tilted the lights forward, and I'm just going to plug these in, feed them through the back. There's a big void behind before it gets the radiator, and then try and go like that way and around the radiator and up to the back, because I need to go through. There's a grommet at the back there that goes behind the dash, so I need to get through there. Couldn't get them in at all. You have to take the little foam bit around, which I didn't even notice. So hopefully they should plug in now. Right, I can actually be a bit brutal and cut a lot of this loom off, because like I say, I'm using the Auxbeam control panel, which has built-in fuses and built-in relays, electronic relays, so I don't need all this. So it's a bit brutal, but I'm going to cut this off. As with all these things, it's always routing the cables that's the hardest bit, but I've got it going through the grill there, and they both pop out over here. The only annoying thing is this white and yellow cable obviously isn't insulated, so I'm going to tape it up. Sorry, it is insulated, but it's not like weather protected, and there is some of it exposed at the front here, so I'm going to tape it up just to give it a bit of protection. Hopefully it'll be okay. If not, then I'll have to replace it. But also, I just would have preferred it if they had put it inside some thicker black insulation, because otherwise you can see it a little bit there. If it was black, you wouldn't even be able to notice that. So I'm just going to pull it out a bit, tape it up so it just looks better. I should have put some insulation around it really before I ran it through, but I'd already committed by then, and I didn't want to pull it out because it took absolutely ages to get it through. So let's add a bit of tape and then get it into the cab. Right, so with the previous lights, the bonnet lights, I actually routed through the grommet behind there. You can see it there. I've just run a cable, actually, this cable, which is a bit smaller than the one that I'm going to put through, I'm going to put a 3-core through, then connect everything here in the engine bay, just because it'd be better than running all these cables through there. And then basically join all these up. I probably won't use the white, I'll use the yellow, join them all up, and then I'll use obviously the red and black from these. I don't want these to be on independently, I want them to be on together all the time. So with them all being joined up, that should work quite nicely. I've got a 3-core cable that I'll pull through with this, and that takes us through. You can see how I've already run it through here, and then I need to drop it down under the seat, and that is where the control box is for the Auxbeam, and then it'll be run by this box here. So yeah, hopefully should be fairly straightforward. I can't remember if I'm going to have to remove the seat. I did last time, but I might be able to slide it forward enough to get access from the back, but we shall see. It's not too difficult to remove. That's only 4 bolts if I have to. So I've run the cable, it comes out in the footwell, and I've run it underneath the actual floor. You can easily lift the floor and get it underneath there, and it pops out right on top of my control box, which is good. Right, let me explain what I'm doing here. So I need to get a proper enclosure. I'm going to mount it on this part here just so everything can be terminated in a waterproof enclosure. But for now, I've just basically used some Wagos just to test it. And the way it works is you've got a red and black coming from each light, which will power the actual spotlight part of it, the real bright bit. They go into, so they connect together. So you've got 2 reds going in, and then a red coming from that goes into the van. You've got 2 blacks connected that goes off into the van, and then you've got 2 yellows and 2 whites. That's for the daytime running lights. You don't need a negative coming from that. They must piggyback the negative that comes from the spotlight, I'm guessing. So yeah, you just have those 2. Basically, I'm not using the white one for now. If I change my mind and I do want white daytime running lights, I can easily swap these out here. And those 2 yellows are joined together into another Wago connector, and then it goes off on the 3rd core of my cable, which is green in this instance. It goes off through that grommet in just the single 3-core cable, which is what that is there, and it goes through and underneath the floor and into here. So this is, there's much more detail on this on my other Auxbeam video on the channel, but basically we've got, they're over 300 watts, so I put them into a 30 amp breaker for the main spotlights. So you have a red and black into there, just like you do from the other side for the big LED light bar that's on the roof, and then that green core comes round to be daytime running lights on a completely separate circuit. Now this has a common neutral, a common negative all the way through, which means that you don't need to run a separate negative from that cable, so a 3-core cable will work fine. I need to obviously tidy it all up, but I'm running out of time today. It's kids' dinner time, so I need to just sort of test it really. We want to see how it works. Basically, the actual control panel is controlled from this, and we will have, I believe it'll be that one will be for the main spotlights, and then probably that one will be for the other daytime running lights. I've already got that, and I can actually link them together using the app, but there's more detail on that in my other Auxbeam video. Let's just see what the lights look like. Wow, they are so bright. Doesn't do it justice, but put it this way, you can feel the heat coming off them. Spotlights off and see what the daytime running lights look like. Oh, the camera like compensates for it, but that looks so cool. Right, that's the look I was going for. I wanted orange up there, orange down here. Lizzie and the kids have come out to see what the lights look like.
Well, I've got my sunglasses on. I haven't put it on the kids.
It looks wicked with like the daytime running lights on. Looks so cool.
Whoa. That is bright, isn't it? I'm glad I got my sunnies on.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
That's a bit bright, isn't it, buddy?
Well, it's safe to say that they are extremely bright. They are fantastic. It just looks so cool. I love the look with the daytime running lights on. I really like it's a bit sort of a retro look with the dark green van, the orange lights. Yeah, I just love the look of it. It just looks really, really cool. So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below. That's the 9-inch RAY L lights by Auxbeam. So absolute beasts. They're so cool. You can actually feel the heat off them as when they're on. It's crazy. So yeah, I've got a little bit of tidying up to do. I need to make those cables all nice and neat, put that waterproof enclosure in, and just make it look a lot tidier. But they look so cool. I've had to move them a little bit further forward. They don't look too bad actually, and especially with the sort of black background as well, the black VW badge, and yeah, I love the look of it. Oh, there's one more thing I need to try actually. Right, now what do you think to that? How cool does that look? I just love it. I think it looks so smart. Yeah, that is ace. It looks so cool. Perfect. Yeah, I'm well happy with that. Anyway, let us know in the comments below what you think, and also if you're interested in getting any Auxbeam lights, click on the link in the description below. That'll take you straight to their website. You can order. A few people were asking how you order. Even if it's written in dollars, you can order and it will just convert when you actually come to pay. So yeah, order through Auxbeam's genuine website. There's quite a lot of fakes out there, so you don't want to buy those. But yeah, that's cool. I'm really happy with that. Hope you've enjoyed that video. Please click that thumbs up button if you have, and also consider subscribing. It really helps us out, and there's plenty more content to come. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.